Relevant, reliable, and researched. This is Experts on Call, the show focused on delivering leading-edge news and information on today's most beneficial products and services. This is Experts on Call on AM 650.
Delighted to have Phil Moriarty with us. Phil is the owner of the BC Canine Training Center, 5 acres of gorgeous property down there at the foot of number 3 Road, right by the Fraser River, below Steveston Highway in Richmond. Phil, if a dog bites a person, that dog and its owner these days could be sued, cops could get called, all sorts of things. If your dog bites anyone, that is an immediate cue to you that this animal needs a training program right now, isn't it?
Yes, but it's also an indication that the person who got bit probably needs some kind of a training program too.
Mm-hmm. That sounds fair. But you know, in terms of legal liabilities for dog owners these days, I mean, you hear these examples in the news, and it's never a happy ending, is it?
No. And, you know, I mean, the dog could be put down as well.
Yeah. So one thing that we were going to do, and we now have a few moments to do, is if a dog is upset and could bite, there's a series of clues that it generally gives you before the actual bite occurs. I talked about a growl, and you said, well, that's usually the last before the bite. So how do they start to warn you that I'm not happy here, and this could end up being an ugly situation? What will the dog do to tune you in to go away?
It may try to go away itself.
Okay.
You know, little kid comes into the house. It's grandma's house. And she's got this little dog.
Sure.
And the little puppy, now grandkid, comes in and, oh, cute little dog.
Sure,
and,
sure.
And he comes up to it, and the dog starts to drift away from the person, doesn't want to be picked up. Well, that's an indication right there.
Right.
The kid has come over, and I'm saying kid, I got 7 of my own, so I should say children probably, but you know,
when you got that many,
I guess I'm showing my age. At any rate, the child comes over and has no real understanding that you don't just walk into a dog's space.
Sure.
And so the dog's indicating by moving away from you.
Right.
If the kid would just stay there and the dog would come over, I'm sure, and start sniffing around, and now you can pet it.
But the kid's the aggressor in this case,
That's
as
right.
the dog sees it, right?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so the first thing the dog does is try to get out of there, just move away.
Yeah, and of course the child is going to continue trying to get the dog, may grab it by the hair or something like that, or the leg, or whatever children do.
Yes.
I tried to get rid of the word kid, and I superimpose the word children.
There you go.
So the child may grab onto the dog, and the dog's going to try and turn away and pull.
Right.
Well, even if the dog did want to greet the child, that's not the way to get the dog to want to continue with this process. So the dog is going to try and pull away.
Yeah. Right.
And now, in order to get away, may try to nip. But it's going to try and get away.
Mm-hmm.
It'll try it without nipping. But depending on how persistent the child is, well, these are things that you know, you shouldn't be leaving a little child unsupervised with a dog.
Right, especially in those first few minutes.
Right,
Too, yeah.
and use your intellect to rationalize the dog's behavior and say, oh no, I don't think you should be doing that, Johnny.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And sometimes the dog will look to the owner for some leadership.
Right.
What do I do here?
Yeah, right. What do you want me to do with this kid? He's driving me crazy here.
Well, got some pleading eyes and looks at you.
Right.
And, you know, may lay there and tolerate it, but he's looking at the owner.
Right.
If the dog is engaged with the child and is having fun with the child, he's not looking at the owner.
That's true, yeah.
Right? So if he's looking at the owner and the owner's not doing anything about it, then the leader isn't there, so he's going to take his own leadership.
Right. And then you're going to hear that growl, right?
Well, if you're lucky, you hear the growl.
Right.
And if you're lucky, you hear the growl, and the child recognizes what the growl was.
Not many kids mistake what a growl is. You don't have to be very old to figure what a nasty growl will stop most kids.
Yeah, but some dogs go from 1 to 3.
Right.
And
skip the growl and just nip.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, those are things that you should be watching for as well. So, parents have responsibility, grandparents have responsibility to protect, children from animals, and they are animals.
Right.
And they're just trying to protect themselves.
Right.
They're in their own world, and we've superimposed ourselves into that world.
Right, and how to learn to enter that world and interact successfully with those creatures, and they are wonderful creatures. Well, there's all of those wonderful training programs, and there is a myriad of options available. Check it out, bccanine.com. All sorts of options. You're having an incredibly busy summer. Some of your programs are booked already till October. So if people are contemplating this, Phil, they should get on the website, get the phone number, and get cracking.
Sure, we'd be glad to see them. And is it over so quickly?
It is. I'm afraid we're done. We're getting the get out of here sign from our producer, Dwayne Bishop. So I have to say goodbye, and thank you for this, a really informative hour.
Thank you for having me.
See you next time, folks.